What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who have not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button now. Just tap it. That's all you gotta do. Just tap it. Anyway, in this video I'm still continuing. I'm still talking about the invisible red flags in relationship, and today we're going to talk about money. That's one thing that a lot of people don't want to talk about openly, but we need to talk about it, okay? Because money, sometimes to some people they can see the red flag in it and some people cannot see the red flag in it, and we're going to touch on that today. So let's get straight into it. First of all, let me just make this thing clear. Nobody on this planet called Earth wants to be with someone who is in debt, okay? So if you are in debt, you need to sort it out. Sort that thing out. And if you're in a relationship and you're planning to get married soon to someone and they don't know that you're in debt, please communicate it. Communicate it, because it's not fair on the other person. You need to let them know how you got into that debt, what you can do to resolve it, because money is one of the things why divorce happens. Money is the reason why there's arguments in relationship and marriage. Money is the reason why some people don't enjoy their relationship or marriage. Money is the reason why some family have split and gone separate ways. So money is really sensitive, it's really touchy, it's important, you need it in your everyday life. Now obviously when you're in a relationship with someone or you're dating someone, it is hard to know whether the person that you're with is in debt, because to be honest with you, nobody asks that kind of question when they're dating you or when they're in a relationship with you. But what you do need to do is to observe how that person is spending money when they are around you. This is important. For example, what I've noticed, right, when guys want to take me out on a date, back in the days when I used to date, these days I don't date no more, but back in the day when I used to go on dates, I noticed that some guys, they want to spend a lot of money on the first date just to try and impress me. Now, there's nothing wrong with spending money on the first date. To be honest with you, there's no way you're not going to end up spending money on the first date, because if you want to take somebody out to eat, you're going to spend money in it. But the thing is, if you're on a first date with someone and they're spending like £100 on food on the first date, that kind of tells you how they spend money. Because to be honest with you, on the first couple of dates, you don't need to spend too much money. To be honest with you, if there is any guy watching this, if you want to go on a date with a girl, you don't need to spend too much money. You really don't need to spend too much money, because you buying her a meal, if she's a full-grown woman, you buying her a meal is not even part of the decision of whether she wants to be with you or not. It's not part of it. So you don't need to spend too much money. But how you spend money when you're around each other is what you need to observe. If you're dealing with someone who's too materialistic, if you're dealing with a girl who's always buying spending loads of money, buying £300 a week every 3 months, or every single day online shopping, every single day going to the shop to buy this, to buy this, to buy that, always spending money on the flesh and not investing money in the future, is an invisible red flag. Because to be honest with you, when you know where you're going and what you're doing for your life, you cut back on spending. You cut back on it. Because when I was young, I used to spend a lot of money on makeup and clothes and shoes, and I would be looking for new outfits, for this event, that event. But now that I'm getting older and I know where I'm going and I know what I want to do, I have to cut back on a lot of things. I have to learn to manage the things that I have and not just keep buying it and buying it and buying it again. So the thing is, if you're dealing with a girl who's constantly, every single week, buying something, buying clothes, buying makeup, buying, 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 buying. She's all about the fleshiness, always investing on the flesh and not investing in the future. Is a red flag. If you're dealing with a guy who's always, you know, trying to get the latest this and the latest that, and whenever something new comes out, he has to just get his hands on it. If he's rich and he's earning millions, it's a different ballgame. Even if he was earning millions, to be honest with you, it's still a red flag, because someone who's earning millions today could be broke in 9 years' time. That's the truth. That's life. Someone who's earning 5 million today, we see it a lot. Someone who's earning like 5 million today could be living on the streets in the next 10 years. So it's still an invisible red flag. You have to watch out on how that person is spending around you. If you're meeting someone and they're changing cars like they're changing clothes. I remember there's a lady that I know. This lady, she's not rich, okay? Because I can tell by, I can just tell she's not rich. But she changed cars like she's changing clothes. As in, every day is a new car. And it could be a raggedy car today. It could be a good car tomorrow. It could be an alright car the third day. And the fourth day it could be a wow car. But whichever way, she's changing it every day like changing clothes. If you're with someone like that, you need to investigate what they're doing for a living. You need to ask questions, you know. Does your dad own a business? Or, you know, how do you have so many cars? You need to be asking these questions, because you don't want to get with someone and instead of your bank account to be going up, it's coming down. So it's an invisible red flag, because people don't pay attention to it. People don't. If you're seeing someone with new designer bags every single day, you need to ask questions. I know girls who spend way too much money on this flesh and no money in the future. If you tend to get married, if you tend to buy a house, you need to start getting a savings account. You need to start putting money in your savings account. You need to be conscious of how you're spending. You need to be thinking about your future all the time, because the future is just tomorrow. It's not too far. So that's why it's an invisible red flag. Because that person, and when I mean invest money in the future, I mean, do they buy books to start reading it? I got to a point of my life where I realized that I need to acquire knowledge. I need to acquire knowledge. It's not enough to just sit down and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I need to acquire knowledge. I need to start buying books. I need to start attending conferences. I need to start listening to stuff that could help where I was going. Another thing you need to watch out for is, do they respect money? When they ask you for money and they say they're going to give you back, do they give you back? This one thing really annoys me, actually. If someone says, can I borrow money off you and I will give you back, do they actually give it back to you? This is important. This will tell you whether they respect or value money, because some people, when they with someone that they know that, oh, he's earning a lot of money, so if I, you know, if he borrows me this money, it wouldn't matter to him if I didn't give him back. No, it matters. It matters, because that particular money that person gave to you, maybe that money has been planned or budgeted for something else. So this is how you know whether the person respects money. To be honest, if you're in a relationship with someone, you really shouldn't be borrowing money from that person. I think, to me, it's a red flag. If that person decides that they want to without you having to ask for it, that's cool. But if you are with someone who's constantly, can I borrow money to pay my bills? Can I borrow money to buy this? Do you have money that you can lend me so I can pay this, I can pay that? If you were single, who would you ask? That's how you need to look at it. If you were single, who would you ask? Why do you have to constantly ask your partner for it? Even if you know the person is earning loads of money, you don't ask. It's an invisible red flag. You don't ask. If you're dating someone who has loads of money, do they respect people? Do they treat people the same way, especially their family? You know, some people, when they start earning loads of money, or if they're the one earning a lot in the family, all of a sudden respect goes out the window. All of a sudden people around them are irrelevant. You need to observe that while you're with them. You will observe this when you do less talking and more listening. Okay? You do less talking, more listening, and keep your eyes wide open. Love is not blind. People just decide to keep their eyes shut. And that's why I'm talking about this, because I don't want people to fall a victim of something that loads of people have fallen a victim of. It's not progression. So these are the invisible flags that you need to watch out. in a relationship, when you're dating someone, especially if it's someone that you're going to take seriously. And for the fellas out there, you do not need too much money to impress a girl. You don't, especially on the first date. You just don't. You don't. If you want to impress a girl, it's not your money. It's not your money. And if you're broke and you want to take a girl out on a date, go to the park and chill. Go to somewhere where you don't have to spend much, but go to somewhere where you don't have to spend much, but you can have a nice time. And that's it for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until then, stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye.